Hello learners. Today we'll learn about how to solve the practical problems. We all have learned the theory of SQL. We'll now learn how to implement this, how to execute or write a query, right? How to extract some information, how to extract the data, which is the main purpose of SQL. We'll learn some of the examples and then we'll also go through some of the important interview questions. So this would be a pure practical session. I request you all to execute these queries in any of the free platforms like mode.com is one in which you can select and check your queries. You can create your data and execute these queries. It is very important for execution. All these are widely used in the industry. So let's start. Retrieve the name of the product in the electronics category. So first we need to know which table has the electronic category, which has the product information. So a category electronics would be in the category table, and there would be many products which would be associated to electronics category. So how will you map these? These are two different tables, right? Table P and table C. P will have all the informations. Say P will have mobile, headphones, table, chair, and suppose bed. Now out of these five, there are three which are in the furniture category and two mobile and laptop in the category in the electronics category. So we know we will have to extract data from two tables and then fetch the name of the electronic items which have the category as electronics. So we know now which table to join. That is a first step. So the main table is after the from product table P. Then we have inner join category table, which is the table B or alias as C for the convenience of the start of this table. So we will join these two tables and we know that we want to extract all the electronics item only. So we want to extract the products which are present in both the tables, like only for the electronics category itself. So we'll use a inner join. If we want to fetch some of the rows from the first table but not from the second table, then as we learned in our theory, we'll use the left join. But in this case we want to fetch all the electronics item, so we'll use the inner join and also from the first table. Now we know we have to join these two tables. On which column we need to join? So the column name can be different in both the table. In first table it is a category ID column, whereas in the second table the column name is ID. So will have the same value, say 123 and 123, but the name of the column will be different. And this is the concept of foreign key and primary key as well. So ID column in the category table is a primary key, whereas category ID in the product table is a foreign key. So foreign key of the first table joins with the primary key of the second table. So this is by far the most important thing, to join two tables. And here is how we use it. Then we have the where condition, where name is equal to electronics. So we have the name of this product given as electronics. So select p dot name from product table, inner join category table on category ID, where we want to look only for the electronics item. And then in select we only want to see the product name, so only p dot name. It is very important to know which values you want to see, which column you want to see. So you cannot do select star every time, as if there are in table there are 200 columns, so it will take a lot of time to fetch. If you have to fetch only one column or say 5 columns, only put these values. So hope this example is clear how to fetch a product name when you have a particular category. So how to join two tables and how to apply and when to apply inner join and where condition. Now let's see the second problem. Calculate the total revenue generated by each product. So you need to generate the total revenue. You need to find the total revenue. So this is an sum function, right? Aggregate function. Let's see how to do this. So select p dot name. So we have to select the revenue generated by each product. So suppose if there are 10 mobiles sold, each mobile is of 5,000. So p dot mobile, the sum will be 5,000 into 10, which is 50,000. So total revenue of mobile sold will be 50,000. And then similarly for laptops, it is 50,000, one laptop, and two laptops are sold. So 50,000 into 2, which is 1 lakh. So for like laptop, it would be 2. So again, the same condition, only we are joining with the order table this time, because it will have the order information, how many orders have been placed for a particular product. So instead of category table, we are joining with the order table. And we also want to see if suppose there is a product which is not being sold. So in that case, total revenue will be null. So if we want the other column which we are fetching from here can be null, and we want to know if that product is sold or not, that is the reason we are using left join. If we want to make sure that only those columns which are sold, we are generating the revenue of that, we'll use a inner join over there. Rest it remains the same. Again, id column here is can be the product id, in this column is the foreign key in the order table. So here id in the product table is the primary key here, and this is the foreign key. And then group by name. So which column you want to sum up the revenue, that you have to group by. If you don't group by, then it will be mobile 8000, mobile 3000, mobile 2000. So now if you want to sum mobile, it will be 8 plus 3 plus 1, which is 12,000. So that is the use of the group by function. For one particular name, it will give one particular revenue, or otherwise it will generate three rows if there are three mobile which are sold. So that is the function of group by. And here we are using the sum function. Sum is equal to price into quantity, which is total revenue. So here is how you can retrieve the sum of a particular product. Now list the product where the order is placed more than 2 times. So again, here it will be similar. We are joining the product table and the order table. We are grouping by the name, and again here we are pulling only the quantity from the order table. Now the only condition is we are putting this having sum o dot quantity greater than 2. Whenever you have to apply a where condition on a aggregated column which is sum o quantity, you use having, and it is used at the end after group by. So this is one additional thing which we learn from this particular problem. If you have to select only that order which is sold more than 2 times, you will have to use this particular condition at the end. Rest it remains similar to the previous query. Let's move to the next problem. Find the category with highest total revenue. Okay, so now again it is category table is the first, then we have the product table also, we have the order table also, because here we'll get the category, here we'll get the product price, and here how many quantities sold. So we have to join 3 tables now, and then quantity can be a left join because it might be that 0 quantity is sold with the same logic. So now you join category table with product table with these conditions, then product table to the order table with this particular columns which we have already used before. We are grouping by the category name column for which we want to find the total revenue. Then order by total revenue descending limit 1. So what it will do, it will put the category which is having the highest revenue. Say laptop has sold 2 lakh rupees and mobile has 1 lakh. So laptop will come number 1 and number 2 will be mobile. But if you are putting limit 1, so it will pull only the first row which is laptop 2 lakh. So this is how you can limit the number of rows, and this is how you can join more than 2 tables also. So there might be also queries in which you are joining say 10 tables as well, not only say 2 or 3 tables. Now calculate the average price in each category. Again, category name will be the first, then avj function you will use instead of the sum function. Rest it remains the same, category table, product table, you join these two, and then you always group by the column for which you are finding the average or the sum. So this is something additional. Now the next is list the product order on a specific date with these quantities. So you have product name, product quantity, and if you want to pull on a particular date, you can point o dot date and whatever is your date format, YYYMMDD. So this condition can also be used if you want to find the quantity sold on a particular date. तो यहाँ पे हमने क्या देखा, हमने देखा कि हम कैसे टेबल्स को ज्वाइन कर सकते हैं इनर ज्वाइन और लेफ्ट ज्वाइन में, और एक टेबल का फॉरेन की दूसरी टेबल का प्राइमरी की होगा, ये हमने सारे क्वेरीज में देखा. हमने देखा कि हम उसको ग्रुप बाय करेंगे हमेशा जब भी हम सम या एवरेज निकालेंगे इन दोनों क्वेरीज में, और हम लिमिट कर सकते हैं, लिमिट फंक्शन यूज कर सकते हैं जब हमको एक रोज चाहिए या टॉप 5 रोज चाहिए, और हमको ये सीक्वेंस हमेशा फॉलो करना होगा। जैसे हम ग्रुप बाय पहले यूज कर रहे हैं, फिर ऑर्डर बाय, लिमिट, सो वी ऑलवेज हैव टू फॉलो दिस पर्टिकुलर सीक्वेंस दैट फर्स्ट सेलेक्ट विल कम फ्रॉम, देन मेन टेबल, देन सेकंड थर्ड टेबल, देन ग्रुप बाय, ऑर्डर बाय एंड लिमिट। सो इट कैन नॉट बी लाइक लिमिट पहले नहीं आ सकता और ग्रुप बाय बाद में नहीं आ सकता, इट कैन नॉट बी इन दैट पर्टिकुलर वे। सो यहाँ से हमने ये सारी चीज़ें सीखी कि कैसे हम सम करेंगे, कैसे एवरेज करेंगे, कैसे दो टेबल्स को ज्वाइन करेंगे। सो वो वी लर्न ऑल दोज थिंग्स एंड हाउ टू प्रैक्टिकली अप्लाई all these problems, that thing also we learned today. Now there are few more questions which we'll quickly go through. Find the top 5 product with highest revenue. So again यहाँ पे limit 5 हो जाएगा, rest same रहेगा, price into quantity, and we are again using the product and the order table. So product and order table is used and 5 is found. Now count is again similar to, like it is also an aggregate function. You can put p dot id instead of sum or average, and you can find the count of a particular product, right? And again you have to use the group by, तो यहाँ पे भी हमको group by यूज करना होगा और हम count function यूज कर सकते हैं। Second, यहाँ पे क्या है हमारे पास, we have the total revenue for each category, so it is price into quantity. So price into quantity we are calculating for each category, it is again grouped by a particular category name. Now products which have never been ordered. So here is the catch of the left join. So whenever you are joined with the first table, remember I told that we want to see the orders which are never placed also, which are never ordered. So in that case we use a left join. So now if nothing is coming from the second table, which is O order table, O dot product ID is null, that is we get those product names which are never ordered. Suppose in electronics, say there is a USB. Yeah, USB is never ordered, so that will come here, that when it joins it is there in the product table main table, but it is not there in the second table. तो पहले टेबल पे वो है product table में, but order table में वो नहीं है, इसके लिए वो null आ रहा है. So that thing we can find by a left join. Now let us quickly see some of the major interview questions, right, and how to answer this. So first thing to remember in interviews is you have to be very confident with what you know, and if you don't know something, say I don't have the knowledge about this, and pass on the question rather than framing something which is incorrect, because that gives an incorrect experience. So that is a generic tip for interview. Now the main questions which you see here, you can read more about these questions also, but I'll tell you briefly what is these questions and what is the intent. So what is SQL? So first people want to know what is SQL. So you have to tell it is a structured query language which is used to retrieve, manage the data from a database, or it is used for data collection purpose also, in which you can collect the data in a various ways, like if you have to aggregate the data, you have to merge the data, you have to demerge the data. So those things can be done using an SQL, and then you have to tell that SQL can be used in various database, various relational databases like Oracle and Teradata, SAS, and everything uses SQL, and it is a very widely used language. Now explain the difference between SQL and NoSQL. So SQL is, the main difference is it is a relational database, and NoSQL is a not a relational. It does not runs on a relational database. SQL runs on a relational database. Then SQL is mostly on a structured data, that you create a database, a data frame, and for NoSQL you don't create. It can be running on a unstructured data as well. So those are the two main differences of SQL and NoSQL. Now how do you record how do you retrieve all the records from employee table? You have to tell the query sometimes in terms of just saying and not writing. So select star retrieves all the records from table name is employee. So that's the simple query. So what is the primary key and why it is important in a database? Primary key is something which is unique for a table, and why it is important in a database is because that you don't want that there should be two rows for a same record. Like if there is my record in say my company's database Aman Prakash, so my employee ID would be unique to me. So all the related information about my employment would be stored to my employee ID, and there cannot be a second row for the same employee ID. So that is how it maintains the data integrity, and that is how it is important. And then primary key also plays a role, which is the next question, how it is used to establish the relationship between the tables. So that is how it happens in interview. Once you answer one question, you are asked another questions which is a follow-up question to the same, but you need to know the complete details of the same. So as I was saying, the primary key is also used to establish relationship with other table, because primary key of the first table would be the foreign key for the second table. And then when you have to join two tables or extract multiple columns from different tables, you use this primary key for joining with the other tables, which becomes a foreign key in another table. Now explain the difference between inner join and left join operation. So as simple it is, that inner join is used when you want to extract all the records which are present in table A and table B. If there is any record which is not present in table B and you don't want to extract it, whereas it is present in table A, you use a inner join. So we try to see that what everything which is common, only those records or those IDs will be extracted. Whereas left join is an operation in which you want to extract all the rows from the main table, whereas the table on the left side, that is a main table, whereas the table which is written after the left join, that may or may not have a matching row for that particular main table. So if the columns, if it does not have a matching row in the second table, then the column which you extract from the second table will have the null values. So that is how we use the left join and inner join, and it is used in terms of the requirement which we want to have. Like if you want to extract say all the product names, but if the order is not present, so in that case we use a left join. But if you want to join the product and category, and we want to make sure that product is present in a category table as well, then we use a inner join. So those were some of the examples which we already saw earlier. So I hope you all enjoyed this practical session, and do comment your feedbacks and suggestions for how are you liking these videos, or what are your like expectations from this channel. We'll definitely try to incorporate all those ideas. Thanks a lot everyone. Have a good day ahead.